Now this is literally drip. And though the many colorful characters will be meeting in Pokemon Legends ZA, I would say that Corbeau is one of the most interesting that we've been introduced to, at least recently. Sure, some of the other returning characters are very curious, but the fact that we've seen them already, we're really just mostly trying to figure out how they got from A to B. But with a brand new character like Corbeau, we gotta figure out why he's trying to go from Z to A. So Corbeau introduced to us as the boss of the Rust Syndicate. The official website tells us, one powerful Pokemon trainer you'll face in a promotion match is the intimidating Corbeau. While he may be participating as an individual competitor in the ZA Royale, he also leads the menacing Rust Syndicate. Corbeau specializes in using poison-type Pokemon during battle, and he seems to be up to his own business in Lumio City. There are many other powerful opponents awaiting you in the ZA Royale. So initially you might think that this is an evil team leader. He is very intimidating, has a group that has an actual name, and there are a bunch of grunts, or at least just regular people there, as well as some sort of enforcer or second-hand man. So that has all the signs of an evil team leader. But as this is a Legends game, it is very different from a core game, which still stick to evil teams, or at least have a group of people that have organized and call themselves Team Whatever, even if they're not necessarily evil, as we've seen in the past few generations. Pokemon Legends Arceus didn't really have one, though they did some interesting things. There were different groups like the Galaxy team and the different clans that were kind of an inversion on it. If anything, the quote evil team that we did get were the Misfortune Sisters, and while they were really cool, they weren't necessarily the antagonists. So I think that we're seeing something like that play out in Pokemon Legends ZA, but obviously one that fits inside the city. There's a reason that they put Yakuza on the Nintendo Switch, because they wanted us to get ready for this. Obviously, as Pokemon Legends ZA will take place entirely in Lumio City, some of the antagonistic groups we'll come up against are probably obviously just going to be like organizations there. Some of them a little less legal, maybe they're all just like different mobs, different syndicates, because I could definitely see a bunch of other ones having different names. So in a way, I kind of see Corbeau and the Rust Syndicate as something like a gym leader, or at least one of the things that will track our progression. The website uses the term promotion match, which hasn't really been explained, but I assume that as we're moving up the ranks in the ZA Royale, there will be certain powerful trainers that maybe we'll have matches against that will determine if we'll move up to like the next section. And so I've kind of stated this before, but there are like 5 distinct sections of Lumio City, so I think that there could be a syndicate or at least a group for each of the 5. And each one of those will be a promotion match. Kinda similar to how in Legends Arceus, our progression was tracked by 5 different noble Pokemon, and after defeating them, we complete the main story. So I assume that in Legends ZA, the main thing tracking our progression is the ZA Battle Royale. And we'll kinda get like maybe stamps, or at least like seals of approvals from the different syndicates or different groups. And especially too, because Corbeau is definitely a type specialist, it is pointed out on the website, and of course with his design of the Pokemon that he uses. And so that is something I could see happening. Each group has their leader with a different type specialty. Though I don't think it's gonna be as simple as just that, because for one thing, an interesting relation is built up between Corbeau and the rest of the Team MZ. In the trailers, we see some of them meeting with Corbeau, and some of the dialogue that he uses isn't really all that friendly. One line specifically where he says, "Well, I take financial matters very seriously. I even personally warned her, So what exactly is he saying there? There seem to be a lot of deals with different people that he's making, and when he says her, I don't know exactly who he's referring to. If we assume that this scene is following some of the gameplay that preceded it in the trailer, our main character protagonist along with Lita seem to be meeting up with him. So when he says her, it doesn't seem to be referring to either of them. So in this scenario, if there is the male protagonist, then the rival would be Tawny. It could be possible that maybe Tawny was already partnered up with the Rust Syndicate for something, and maybe she made some mistake, and that's what Corbeau is referring to. Maybe had somebody battle her to, quote, teach her a lesson, and that is why our characters are meeting up with him to kind of confront him. Who knows, he could definitely be talking about somebody else. There is another screenshot on the website where he says, "Nothing too hard, I just want you to take care of some little jobs here and there for us." And so in that sense, it really does feel like the quest system, maybe not like the side quest system, but like a main quest. So it could be possible that in order to reach that promotion match, we'll have to complete some little quest around the city for the Rust Syndicate. Sort of in a way making it like the puzzle that you would solve before a gym leader battle. But basically that is kind of all I have for the mechanics of how this will possibly work for Corbeau himself. I know there have been a lot of theories here and there discussing like, maybe he could be related to Carmine and Kieran. And I think that is a little more of like, I don't know if you would call it a recency bias, but maybe just like a recency theory, because those are some of the characters that are fresh in our mind, and there are some minor similarities. Some people definitely pointed out stuff with Pheasantipity, and of course this is a Japanese-inspired character with his look and a lot of the setting around his headquarters, so he would definitely stick out in Lumio City. I don't really have much to say about them being potentially related. I think that there are definitely some stronger relations with some other characters first and foremost. If it does end up getting brought up, sure, I guess it'd be pretty neat, but for the most part we kind of already have everything we need for Kieran and Carmine. I mean, first of all, the two of them are related and we meet their grandparents, and we also learn a little about their ancestors as well, so that family line has already been fleshed out. But if you have any theories about Corbeau's origin or how he ties into the game, let me know in the comments below. There's definitely a lot going on here and I really can't wait to see how it all shakes out, but I think what's going to be most validating is if in the next trailer we get to see another type specialist character who kind of fits a similar role. That would be the most interesting to me and what I'm definitely going to be looking out for. Anyway, I should get going because I have a few debts I really need to pay. Thank you to every channel member for your continued support, including the Great Gators, Alex with Shiny Hunts, Shash, Cosmo Zero, Tyler Hopper, Wakadox, Koi 13, Cemetery Hill, Cheez-It62, Gator Kid 509, TF, Mathaclog 947, Taijirai, Justin R, Phantom, and Quago. If you would like to support, see your name here, get access to emotes for comments, live streams, and sometimes early videos, as well as a members podcast, you can become a channel member today. You can also follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky as well for more memes. Anyway, this is GatorX, and I'll catch you all later.